Ulster County sales tax, $32,423.06. Police fees, $25.25. Pine Hill water rents, $3,000. Ambulance fees, $5,858.79. Cell tower revenue share check, $198.56. Town clerk interest, $4,811.24. Town clerk fees, $362.34. Vital statistic fees, $100. Justice fees, $17,875.25. Permits code officers, $125. Building permit fees, $3,472. Dog licenses, $53.50. Phoenicia Water District interest, October 2015, 5 cents. Phoenicia water rents, $9,000. Gas fuel reimbursement, $6,036.16. Highway October interest, $11.05. And workers' comp reimbursement, $33,448.80, for a grand total of $116,801.05. Communications. Month of December 2015, ambulance. As you may or may not have heard or read, shortly following our last town board meeting, the U.S. Department of Labor came by to report their findings following a 2-month investigation. Following inspection of all records for all departments, they found issue with how we were paying our ambulance personnel. From the inception of the ambulance as a professional service some 30 plus years ago, the town has paid employees based on a 12-hour on-call shift stipend. As most of these employees were local and stayed at or near home performing their regular household chores at work. When called for a dispatch, the employees were then afforded an additional pay stipend to compensate them for the hours worked. The Department of Labor didn't see it this way. They ordered us to immediately change our pay practice by paying at least federal minimum wage, limit full-time hours to 40 hours in a week, and compensate for overtime when beyond 40 hours. Where a few regular employees were reporting up to 72 hours or more within a week. Additionally, we were ordered to review the ambulance payroll retroactively for 2 years from the date of the start of the investigation and compensate all employees at least to the federal minimum wage and overtime rates. Lastly, they were requiring us to implement this practice at the start of our next payroll period, which coincidentally was the very next day, Saturday, November 7th. Noting the major changes to scheduling and payroll to be worked out, I asked them for and received a reprieve for 2 weeks to allow us time to consider options and coordinate with the ambulance staff. That being said, the town at an emergency meeting held Friday, November 20th, approved to change the rates and staffing to increase the ambulance personnel rates for drivers to the New York State minimum wage for drivers at $8.75 an hour and technicians to $1 above that at $9.75 an hour. The medics will remain at the existing rate as it is well above the minimum wage. The new schedule and new hourly guidelines were started that Friday evening. All said and done, this carries a financial burden that was unanticipated in our budget that was approved 2 nights before the Department of Labor report. The increase in labor costs could increase the annual operating budget by approximately $60,000 annually. To offset this, Chief Muller-Lely and I have spurred on further discussion with neighboring municipalities to create and enter into official mutual aid agreements, which should provide some offset without having to increase staffing, as we have performed these duties for decades without any compensation. We also would like to revisit the fees we charge for service. We requested Comstar, our billing service, to review our rates versus similar squads they serve. It appears that we are dramatically undercharging for our service by nearly 4 times. We will look to provide a proposal to change these rates and look to do so early next year. As for back wages, I've already started calculating some of the 30 employees, and as ordered by the Department of Labor, cut checks to these employees. We will cut checks to these employees within 3 months, or the town faces a fine and will have to add interest to these wages. I will have this completed by February to make these payments. I'm estimating the back wages may total around $50,000 to $60,000, but I cannot get a solid figure as these are detailed equations that work out differently for each employee depending on their individual rate of pay, hours worked, and any other employment with the town. All said and done, we have to address this over the coming year. If we bond for the back wages, we can spread that out over a few years with a small increase in the budget to repay over time. Some of the wage increase will be offset by increasing revenues through efforts as prescribed above. As for the rest of the wages, I feel confident that we can find other areas where we can find further find funding to further offset any anticipated budget increases. I'm confident that we can weather this storm financially and will stay committed to working toward keeping the taxes as low as possible and not exceed the tax cap. There is no way to counter this action, as this, according to Department of Labor, is a legal requirement and cannot be diminished. No fines have been levied, as we have worked diligently to come into compliance, and no one is going to jail. Additionally, there is no blame to be waged here. This has been a practice of our squad since its inception, and I, as well as the town board, have already stated that we are committed to maintaining the high-level, award-winning advanced life-saving ambulance service available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week here in the town of Shandaken. Further, I would like to extend my gratitude to the ambulance department personnel for working with the town and administration to ensure a seamless transition as occurred 2 weeks ago. So thank you, gentlemen and women. Appreciate it. Phoenicia Water. As many of you have seen, the work on the Bridge Street Bridge water main is progressing. As of today, Merit Construction has installed the hangers and pipe and performing a pre-chlorination and pressure test on the line. They're planning to finish performing the necessary testing tomorrow and may have the work completed by the end of the week. Of course, they may have to wait for warmer weather to finish paving around the site, but if all goes well, High Street residents should be back online by mid-month. Tonight we have a resolution to allow us to secure the funding necessary for this work. This will be a 7-year bond for $70,000 at 3.75% rate. As we anticipated this in the budget, it should have no effect on rates in Phoenicia. Morton Library. As all things have gone this past month, our planned repair to the Morton Memorial Library building in Pine Hill met with unexpected news. Upon removing the portico for repair, the contractor noticed rot extending beyond his work area. Upon further inspection by the contractor and our building inspector, Warren Tutt, it was determined that work had been performed previously that may have created the issue with the portico. Rain and moisture intrusion beset the roof beams well above the portico and the main roof rafters. This in turn seeped down the beams to affect the portico. It was determined that the roof needs to be replaced. This is not a cheap prospect, as the structure is historic and must be maintained as such. This could be an expensive and timely repair. It was best addressed on a short-term basis to impede the moisture intrusion and shore up the rotting beams for the winter, and for us to seek out grants and funding to afford what may be upwards of a $200,000 repair. Resolutions. We have resolutions tonight on a wide variety of subjects. One is supporting a request for the state to increase the amount of funding it provides to municipalities for road repairs, which is critical for us to maintain and has slowly been increasing our budgets year after year. Following the official designation of Route 28 as the Catskill Mountain Scenic Byway, another resolution is to support Shandaken Day as the town's official scenic byway event, which by doing so can provide us with approximately $4,000 of grant money through I Love New York tourism funding. We have a resolution to create a cemetery committee to help track and record all activities, or non-activities, or history within all of the cemeteries located throughout the town. Finally, we have resolutions to renew our liability insurance, auction off some obsolete items from our ambulance department, and to establish our year-end and reorganizational meetings for late December and early January. Our next monthly meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 4th, 2016 at 6 p.m. With that, I'll turn it over to council if you have any other things you'd like to add.
If you need the heat program through Ulster County, you can still get it if you want. Call the Ulster County Social Services if you have a problem with your heat. They say now it's for 16 and over. I thought it was everybody. But the way I saw it online, it said you have to be 60 years old and older now.
Well, you have to prove financial need, but I don't believe there's a 60.
What?
If you don't have fuel, again, being the welfare officer, you're to call me if you have any issues with fuel, and we'll see how we can assist you.
Speaking of heat, I'd like to thank Kenny Herdman for diligently helping to get the heat back up and running in the Shandaken Museum in Pine Hill. He volunteered his services, and there's been no heat in that building for the past 3 winters, so I'd like to thank him very much for doing that.
SDS Playhouse is presenting It's a Wonderful Life from now until December 20th. Holiday bake sale, annual bake sale for Shandaken Animal Volunteer Effort is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3. Also at the Morton Memorial Library, there's gingerbread house decorating this Saturday at 5 p.m. The craft fair is down at the Phoenicia Fish and Game this Saturday from 11 to 4. And the annual Phoenicia Library Holiday Open House is Saturday, December 19th from noon to 2 p.m. And the Zen Mountain Monastery is having their 27th annual community holiday dinner. Who knew? And it's at 11:30, the first seating, and the second seating's at 2:30. And Miss Kitty's down in Mount Tremper there is continuing to do a drive for toys for kids. To be donated to coincide with the Phoenicia Food Pantry. And you can make your donations until December 22nd. You can drop off unwrapped toys and wrapping paper. And also, if you didn't notice, over on the blackboard, we have a big old dog that's missing in Shandaken. We're going on day 5. We have an unconfirmed sighting for Big Indian by 28. Some think he's still in Little Valley, but he might have gone through the woods. So if you keep an eye out for him, that'd be great. And that's it. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's on yours. That's right. The Prayer Feather Workshop is this Saturday up at the Shandaken Historic Museum. They're going to make prayer feathers, stories, coffee, and cake with the Big Indian Native American Cultural Center for a small fee of $5. And they're going to be there from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Joyce, you printed these out, this is new today, right?
Yeah, is that cool?
Yeah.
That's for the whole month.
It's all
Yeah, that's the whole
on
month's
Facebook, all the
activities.
events that go on in December, we got them right up here if you want to.
Yeah, if you don't go on Facebook or the website, you also have everything listed on Channel 23, as well as the information booth in Phoenicia in front of the Key Bank.
And if you haven't noticed, our kiosks are up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the work was completed on those. They're still waiting to put the solar lighting up. That should be up shortly. And that work is basically complete. So we're hoping for another round of smart growth. We'll probably apply for that as well next year for some other things, who knows. So come up with some ideas. With that, I move on to committee reports. Chief Mullerley.
Good evening. November 2015 report of the Town of Shandaken Ambulance. Total calls received was 34. Mutual aid was given twice to Olive First Aid. Mutual aid was not received. For lack of a better term, the past month has been hell for the rank and file of the Town of Shandaken Ambulance Service. This sentiment is not because of a particularly busy system or because of a few tough calls, or even what would be in normal circumstances the start of our Bel Air coverage. It is because of uncertainty. Every one of us in this room understands the impact of the Town of Shandaken Ambulance Service upon the health and well-being of the 3,035 people we are sworn to protect, the visitors that drive our economy, and those in need even beyond the town boundaries. The ambulance service is the only 24-hour service that the town provides. It is the only healthcare provider within the Town of Shandaken, has no reciprocal service in the area, and provides a vital and necessary link for those in need to definitive medical facilities both east and west of the town. The current situation has put our ambulance service on a tipping point, a precarious position that we haven't felt since 2005. Despite that sentiment, our ambulance technicians have come together and shown exemplary understanding and teamwork. From losing 2 incredible employees, to some losing nearly half of their income, secondary to their hours being slashed in half, to having their schedules completely flipped upside down. This membership of your ambulance service's perseverance and dedication to what they do has largely averted a public health crisis in our town. And we have essentially built a new squad from scratch in 2 weeks. Every single employee is fried from this, myself included, but we have successfully come into compliance with the edict set forth by the Department of Labor without jeopardizing level of care or coverage to the townspeople that we pledge to protect. Our service will cost more. There will be critics, and there will be many, many questions, as there should be. But understand that throughout this tumultuous time, the dedicated providers of the Town of Shandaken Ambulance shall be unfaltering in their pledge to protect the health and well-being of those in need. And for that, they should be commended. I beg for the Town of Shandaken's support as we move forward, and please do not jeopardize the health and well-being of the people we dedicate our lives to protect. Thank you.
2015, the police. All accidents, 12. Incidents involving animals, 6. Incidents involving real estate, real property, 7. Civil incidents, 3. Traffic incidents, 18. Crime against public order, 7. Check welfare, 6. Community-oriented policing project, 29. Automated intrusion device calls, 4. Assault and related offenses, 10. Assist fire department ambulance, 16. Criminal mischief, 2. Request for a patrol, 7. Suspicious activity, 2. 911 calls abandoned, 4. Fraud and larceny, robbery, 4. Custody unattended, 1. Narcotics, 1. Warrant related, 2. And NCON, 1. For a total of 142 calls.
That should be unattended.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it just says unattended.
Unattended.
Unattended, we didn't go to one call. Up next, we have Phoenicia Water. Rick, I'm sure you have a lot to say. Al couldn't make it because he's not getting back until tomorrow. Come on,
Yeah, tomorrow.
What?
step up to the mic.
All right, you want to, okay.
Get a nice crowd here.
You talked about the bridge. This morning I was up here, you were sick, and I stayed around to get all of the engineer because he obviously thinks we're in either Hawaii or Florida. Because you're going to wait. I have that hose connected there since March, and I'm worried that it's going to freeze. And there's 35 homes over there that be out of water, or we'd have to hook up to the High Street Pump House, which has been compromised by Irene and Lee. We're not supposed to use it, but thank God we used it all last winter, and I did water tests, they came in fine. But in any event, we're doing we did the test today, pressure test. Tomorrow they're gonna take a sample and bring it down, then we're gonna do another test, another sample, and hopefully, not the middle of the month, but hopefully by Friday we'll have it turned on. But I'm just saying this now, hopefully, because it's getting colder and colder. We have to.
Yeah, we've been lucky.
Yeah.
Got decent weather this week.
And not pertaining to the water, another thing, when that girl died up here, or down here by the cemetery, Army Corps of Engineers came in like a week later and dug it all out. What do we have to wait for? Let's get them to do it, in all these creeks all through the
It's not exactly the case, Rick, but I'll take care of it anyway.
All right.
Phoenicia Water.
That's
You also had a leak, Thanksgiving?
Oh, Thanksgiving, we had a leak, we fixed it. The day before Thanksgiving, we found it, we couldn't, by the time it gets dark, about 4:30, so we had to wait. Thanksgiving, of course, nobody can work on Thanksgiving except me. And then the next day,
Yeah, sword,
Yeah.
throw yourself on it.
you guys get paid. Then the next day, I had called the NICEAG to come down because it was right next to a pole, so they could. And I said, "Can you come down on Friday?" No, it's overtime for them, so they couldn't come down. But luckily, we found it. I had Rural Water come down. They found it, and we fixed that the next day.
Where was it?
Right across from Finola Ryan, up on the hill. South Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 4-inch main that we
Yeah,
didn't know.
never even knew
Weren't even
about it.
aware of.
And do you know how much water is lost? when
Yeah, we
that
lost
happens?
about 25,000-30,000 gallons a day.
Wow.
A day. It was a great find. I mean, there were 2 other ones on South Street that we found that when they put the bridge in, there were houses there. They took the houses out, but they never shut the water off.
Oh, my God.
So luckily, we found them over the last year and a half. But very good. All right.
Thank you, Rick. Yeah, so the work's been progressing nicely. We had a meeting with the USDA. Chad, you missed your report, but that's okay.
Oh, there we go.
But yeah, so as Rick said, we're hoping for the end of the week, but
Chad's here.
if something happens, thanks, Rick. Not that. We're hoping by the end of the week that Best High Street will be returned to. Okay. Phoenicia Water, there's no report, but I did speak to Donnie. Again, there was discussion last year of looking at raising the rates of Phoenicia. Pine Hill. Thank you. Pine Hill Water. You do this to me. You get me over. I never know what's coming. So anyway, I met with Donnie Clark over the weekend. Yeah, they cut a little close this year. There was talk of raising the rates in Pine Hill next year, and that may be coming to fruition. Earlier in the year, we will look at the rates being charged at Pine Hill. Museum report. Bennett.
We had 32 visitors last month and numerous requests for genealogy that kept our director busy. The veterans list is almost completed. One more cemetery to photograph. It has 4 veterans buried there, and I need permission to cross private property to photograph them. And I'd like to thank Brian Grant, who discovered another grave on Woodland Valley Road, right next to the road. It's a Civil War veteran that we never knew was there. I'd like to thank Don Sims from the American Legion for providing a list of members, and also to Paul Catrone and Ron Hallinan from the VFW for their assistance. There is a list of veterans at the museum, and as soon as the photographs, and I flip this page. Sorry, I'm going to do some line. Remaining grave sites are taken. A list of loose leaf form will be given to the Phoenicia Library. Our veterans display is open to all, and we encourage everyone to come and visit us. Diane Galusha, Education Coordinator of the Catskill Watershed Corporation, will be listing our museum as a historic site to visit on their Headwaters District Tour. One of our board members has a contact for a person for an archaeologist that has researched this area for Indian burial grounds. Stay tuned. We will have in the near future a book on D.F. Hasbrook. He was an artist that lived on Birch Creek Road in Pine Hill, and anyone interested may purchase it. We don't have the books yet, but we will be receiving them. At this time, we are committed to 12 books, and we can get more. Last but not least, skiing will be on our next theme for the winter months: Simpsons, Bel Air, and High Mount, and the hotels where they stay. So that will be our next project and display.
Just small projects.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Cemetery up by me, you can't get into?
Yeah, I got that.
You got that?
Yeah, the one down below the Phoenicia Diner. I checked with Heidi Clark, and she gave me the name of the people that supposedly pay the tax bill. It's listed as Catskill Development. I looked in the phone book, there's no such thing. I Googled it, there's no such thing.
That's Dean Gooder.
Rich, you can just go to it. It's-
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask a person to walk across their property, take the pictures, and that's it.
Yeah, ask Naomi. Ask Naomi on that.
You're allowed to cross here, you're allowed to go in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's,
You got the one up by me then?
Yep,
Thank you, Richard.
yep.
Recreation, Marty.
Come on, you can't hear me. Wait a minute, Marty. Turn it on. I should just shout. As you know from an email that Aaron had sent to you, Aaron Bennett and parents who are involved in Little League Baseball is trying to organize for this Saturday a project to redo the roof on the dugout in the snack bar. I think they're both being done. So if anybody has any extra time and energy, I know they would appreciate help. This is a volunteer group, and they put a lot of effort into the baseball field. And as a result of our fundraising this summer, we're going to be doing some other improvements to the field, so it's getting pretty sticky. Our next meeting is next week, Thursday the 17th. Is that Thursday? I think so. At 3 o'clock here in Town Hall. People are welcome. We've been putting together our vision for where we'd like to see all of our parks going in the next year or two. We welcome input. I think that's it.
Just to add for the Aaron Bennett, he did send me an email this evening. So he's looking to get together at Glenbrook Park at about 9 a.m. this Saturday, December 12th. Want to get in touch with and that's why we have an ambulance squad.
Right on cue. Good job, Captain.
So anyway, his Aaron's number at home is 254-8010, and we'll give this information to Joyce so she can post it. Also, he has an email, abennett, BENNETT, @catskill.net. And if you can reach out to him before Saturday, that way he'll know how many people are coming and whether he can contact you to say if it's on or off. But it looks like it should be fairly good building weather for Saturday. Thank you, Mark. Okay, with that, we will move on to public comments and resolutions. No. Resolutions? No. Open public comments after the resolutions.
Oh, I thought you said public comment.
Public comment on resolutions. Yep, no. See, it's always good when I know what you're here for. Help you out a little. So with that, we'll move on to.
I got one question.
Yes.
On resolution 145, the resolution designating Shandaken Day as Catskill Scenic Byway. That's
Yes.
because it's on, right on 28 there, right?
One, it's because it's on 28, it's a municipal event, and you have to designate a singular municipal event to be your byway event. With that being done, each town has been asked to pass a resolution saying, this is your byway event, and it'll give us grant money. They have, how much is it, Tina? $4,166 for each community on the byway for this.
Oh.
So like, Fleischman's is doing the Maple Fest, Margaretville's doing the Cauliflower Fest, Olive's doing Olive Day, because I guess they're gonna revamp it to be a general town event, and Andy's is.
But even our day's not quite on 28 there, right?
No, but still, it's a municipal
So
event.
anywhere, so say they moved out of Big Indian at some point someday. And
Oh, you can still keep it as a
keep
scenic
it,
byway
okay.
event.
That was my question.
And most of our locations actually are along the highway now that I think about it.
Yeah.
So when we use the other locations.
Right.
Okay. 141.
Right. Resolution 141-15, resolution to pay all bills. Whereas the Department of Audit and Control require town boards to sign and inspect all vouchers coming into the town for payment, to number and total amounts from each fund. Therefore, be resolved that the town board authorize the following vouchers paid. General, $33,519.80. Highway, $14,303.22. Phoenicia Water, $8,616.59. Pine Hill Water, $362.36. Phoenicia Lights, $929.99. Chichester Lights, $135.66. Pine Hill Lights, $539.88. Grand total of $58,407.50. And I move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Lloyd?
Yes.
Board Member Storr?
Yes.
Supervisor Serrano?
Yes. Resolution 142-15, resolution to support a local transportation funding. Whereas a reliable transportation infrastructure is vital for the safety of New York's traveling public and its economy, whereas 85% of New York's roads